Let's start the warm up with some joint prep, and we're going to start with the neck. So roll your shoulders down and use your hands to pull those shoulders down. Make sure they don't creep up as you're performing your neck stretches. And you're going to start off by going side to side, up and down, then bring the ear to the shoulder. And then after this, I want you to visualize a number 8. And you're going to use your nose and trace a number 8 going 5 in one direction and then 5 in the other direction. For all of these stretches, really there is no designated number. I really just want you to get somewhere between 5 to 20 reps. So if you need a longer warm-up, do 20 reps. If you want a shorter warm-up, I'm doing 5 reps in this video. After your figure 8s, you're going to do regular neck circles going all the way one way and then switching directions, making sure that the shoulders don't creep up. And in the neck circles, the rest of your body might want to move. So just try to isolate the neck right now and stretching that out, making sure that you're not rolling your shoulders up during the neck circles. But for shoulder shrugs, you will bring them up. So in opposite directions, you're bringing one shoulder up as high as you can and one shoulder down as low as you can, going in both directions. For shoulder circles, what I want you to focus on is squeezing your abs a little bit and using your palm to guide your hand all the way up and start to rotate it as you go overhead. When you go backwards, I want you to focus on leading with your pinky. And that way, as you bring your pinky up, your palm will come down as you did the forward shoulder circles. Then follow that up with some huggers, and all you're doing here is just opening up, being nice and loose, and alternating whatever elbow was on top the last time. So now let's focus on the elbows, where you extend the elbow, bring the fist to your chest, and then rotate as you go through, going in both directions. You kind of look like you're directing airplane traffic. From here, intertwine your fingers and go in both directions for 5 or so reps, and then bringing your hands to your hips for some hula hoops. Now you're going to bring your hip to the side, then to the front, then to the other side, and then to the back. Really try to work the pelvis. Don't try to just circulate with your shoulders or your head. Really work in all directions, like your SpongeBob going around town. Here's another form of hip circles where you bring your knee up as high as you can, then pull it out to the side as far as you can. You want to go so far where you might even feel it in your opposite glute. Then you're going to bring the knee forward again, and if you lose balance, that's okay. You can do a few things for balance. You can grab onto your knee. You can use a wall or an elevated surface. Honestly, just like to balance on my leg, but that's totally up to preference. You'll notice that my hands are to the opposite side for leverage, so you can do that, but experiment with what you really like. Holding a wall will probably be a really good start. Make sure that your abs are nice and tight though, and when you're lifting the knee, really try to lift up as high as you can and then pull it out back as far as you can so that you can feel it in the opposite glute. Let's move on to knee circles, where you bring your feet together, your knees together, and then you go in circles in each direction. If you bring your hands on your knees, it looks like the percolator, and you just want to expose your knees to different ranges of motion in a comfortable way. Then you can start to balance on one foot so you can roll out your ankle and go in each direction, making sure that you can really fully point your toe, and then switching directions by flexing and pointing. Now let's work the toes and ankles for a nice little stretch. You're going to curl your toes underneath your foot, and you're going to start to plantar flex. So you're going to feel that little stretch in the toes, in the front of the ankles, in the shin, and then just bring your heel back down to the floor to stretch out your toes, and then start to plantar flex by opening up that foot. Now let's move on to some wrist stretches, and place your hands on the floor, lift the heels of your palms, and you're just going to shift side to side. You'll feel this stretch where your palm meets your fingers. From here, you're going to point your fingers out to the side and then rock side to side. Let's turn the palms upward, and you're going to make a fist and then palms upward and then make a fist, going back and forth between reps. The further your hands are apart from each other, the bigger the stretch will be. Then you'll point the fingers backwards and perform reps of that, making sure that your elbows are straight. And the further your hands are from your body, the bigger the stretch will be. Then bring the fingers forward, and you're going to create circles. So going all the way to the side and front, to the other side and back for 5 reps or so, just getting really comfortable going in all directions, making sure that your fingers are splayed out and your elbows are straight. This next portion here is all dynamic stretching, meaning that we're going to stretch but through movement. And in the plank position, you're going to bring one foot up to your hands. And if you're not there yet, that's totally fine. But do your best to gradually start to bring your foot higher and higher as you loosen up and alternating sides, making sure that the back leg is straight so that you can loosen up the hip flexors, but also you're going to get a nice little shoulder and core warm up. For alternating pigeons, you're going to bring your knee in between your hands. So if you have really tight hips, it's going to be difficult to bring your knee up that high. So you don't have to at first, but over time, gradually start to bring your knee up higher and try to bring your leg up higher so that your leg is perpendicular to your body. From this position, it's all about going back and forth, alternating sides from the plank to the alternating pigeon, and then switching sides, warming up your hips, your abs, and your shoulders. So make sure you have enough room for this one. This is called the world's greatest stretch, where you come back up like a groiner, but the elbow that touches the front leg is going to come down, and then you're going to lift that hand and look at your thumb. From here, you're going to bring the back knee to the floor and lean back, performing this for reps. So elbow down, turn, back knee hits the floor, and then extending the front leg so you can get a hamstring stretch. You'll be on all fours for cat cows, and you're going to do 2 movements. You're going to arch your back, and then you're going to round your back. When you arch your back, I want you to roll your shoulders backwards, look up, and feel a stretch in your upper back. Then when you go upwards, you're going to round your back, tuck your chin in slightly, and really push into your shoulders so that you can round your back. And last stretch here, you're going to bring in the knees out from each other as much as you can and splay your toes out to the side. And you're going to rock back and forth. You can stay on your hands or you can get on your elbows. And you can't see at this angle, but you're going to then extend the leg and keep the foot on the floor. So from this position, you're rocking back and forth. You're going to feel this a lot on the inside of your thighs. And that concludes our warm up. Feel free to do extra if you'd like. Otherwise, feel free to start your workout.